Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing. Back with another video, man. We got a good topic today. Why do Tank Davis fans worship him like he's God? That's a really good topic. We done seen all the videos, all the Tank meat munchers been coming out defending his loss, saying, oh, Tank is this, Tank is that. You even got people saying Bud Crawford's a hater. At the end of the day, man, with Tank, man, this stuff is getting out of control, man. I gotta get off his nuts, man. Tank is not that guy. I've never seen a guy do less, get credit the way he get credit. I just never seen it. What's going on with my brother D Free in the house?
What's
Um,
good?
I just never seen nothing like Tank where he do less and he get more credit. The less he do, the more credit he get. And I don't get it. I think it's getting old. Um, I don't know, man. What you think about it, man?
Um, like I told you before, when we had our little meeting earlier offline, I said I was going to come up here and apologize to the public, and the reason I said that is because I had stated something when we saw the fight, and I said that it should have been a disqualification because of what transpired in the fight. Now I have later went back and looked at the rules, and I gotta apologize. I was wrong. There are no daggone rules. There are no rules. It's solely up to the discretion of the referee. And so, I mean, I didn't think that they was going to overturn it because it was a missed call by the referee. You can't turn around and punish the fighter because the referee missed a call. Because if you do that, then you're going to open up the floodgates for everybody asking to get their fight overturned because the referee missed a call. So it's actually better to leave it as a draw than to put it down as a no contest, because when you overturn it to a no contest, it's almost like the fight never happened. And so it's nothing on Tank Davis' resume. It goes back to him just being 30-0. They don't keep track of the no contest. Now, if you look at the overall resume, yeah, you will see that he has a no contest on it. But when they announce them, they don't announce the no contest. They only announce the wins, the losses, and the draws. They don't keep track of the no contest. So it's like with Devin Haney. If you go look at his record, it will go down. His record is 31-0. He doesn't have a no contest up there. We know that it was ruled a no contest, but it's not stated in his record. So it's better to be at a draw, because it's like, okay, St. Davis, you got this blemish on your record now. You was 30-0. Now you have this blemish on your record because you got a draw. So I'm okay with it being leaving it as a draw, because the only thing they was going to do was overturn it to a no contest, which is still basically a draw. Neither one of y'all lost. So it's basically still the same thing. So they like, what's the use of taking it away? We can leave this blemish on his record. And it was a blown call, so he has a blemish on his record, or we rule it a no contest, and now we open up the floodgates for everybody to get their fights overturned because a referee missed their call. No, we're gonna leave it as a draw.
Yeah, that's a good. You're absolutely right. I'll say this, man. Congratulations to DK Metcalf on signing a $150 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to my Browns. Myles Garrett will retire in Cleveland and head to Canada from Cleveland. So
Yeah.
4-year deal, $123 million guaranteed.
Shout out to Devontae Adams too, because he planned on signing with the Rams. So
Yeah, I seen he had a 2-year deal with the Rams. Congratulations to him as well.
yeah.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited, man. You know, we talk about sports over here on Sports Talk Network. But I tell you what, man, when it comes to Tank, I think this is the first time I ever seen a fighter get stuff that I've never seen other fighters get. He get the benefit of the doubt. He gets these fans who don't even care about the sport. They care more about him than they do the sport. And I just think it's disgusting, man.
I I don't necessarily agree with that. I ain't gonna say he's the only one because Canelo get the same favoritism as well. Now I will say he does get favoritism. It is a favorite in going his direction, but he's not the only one because we've seen it for Canelo. We see them try to do it for Loma. We see them try to do it for a lot of different fighters throughout boxing. Um,
But Canelo put in major work, Free. I mean, I
Yeah,
know.
now what I will say, Canelo, if you look at Canelo resume, you say, okay, well, Canelo, he did fight a lot of the top name fighters. So you could say, okay, well, we can kind of overlook what Canelo Alvarez. I'm not overlooking anything. What's black and white is what I see in front of me. And so I gotta call it how I see it. And I'm not gonna excuse Canelo because he fought some guys that had some names and Tank Davis ain't really fought the guy that you want him to fight. No, they both did the same thing. They both getting the favoritism. So you got to call it, and that's where a lot of the fans go wrong at because they want to excuse the fighter that's moving the way that they necessarily want them to move, and they want to put all the blame on the fighter that's not moving the way that they want them. But if they both doing the same thing, they both guilty. That just because you went to work and you take care of your family, but you're a drug dealer on the side or at night, it doesn't excuse you from the same time that a drug dealer get. If this man get caught with drugs and he gets sentenced to jail, you get caught, you get sentenced to jail too because you're a drug dealer. I don't care what you do during the day. At night, we caught you as a drug dealer, so you get sentenced to jail as well. So that's how I look at it. Everybody, and that's why I keep telling y'all, I gotta be consistent. Everybody gotta have an even playing field, and you gotta leave it away according to what the rules are, according to what your standards are. Whatever your standards are, you got to have that same standard across the board for everybody. Now, if you got a certain standard for these type of fighters, it got to be the same across the board for everybody. It can't just be for that fighter. It got to be for all the fighters. You got a standard for him. Okay, everybody else got to follow that standard as well, or they not living up to that guy.
All I can say is this.
This is a sick Negro.
That's all I.
Hey, you
But
can call out you want to call
we
it.
got the story in the house. What you got on this, Mark?
What's good, fellas? Ask the question.
Oh, I was wondering what you think about Tank getting special treatment. And a lot of people are starting to worship Tank. What do you think about this demagoguery that Tank is starting to inspire in the fans?
Um, well, firstly, I mean fandom and you know, fanboys. I think that's something that's been around for a long time. Tyson, you see him, he has his fanboys. The man, and this is just my opinion, but for somebody to bite another fighter in the middle of a championship fight, you can't call him a great fighter. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. But other people will make excuses for Tyson and be like, "Oh my God, that's so badass. He bit him in the middle of a fight." To me, that's that. I got different words for that. That's not cool to me. But that's just
I know
how
you
some
seen the
people
video. Look
are
like
with.
Tank tried to bite Lamont.
Yeah, I mean, Tank hit him with his shoulder. The referee warned Lamont. Tank
Hmm.
took a knee. The referee ain't call it. So I mean, when it comes to those Tank fans that don't care about that, I mean, what can you say about that? Like they fanboys. They like what they like. They like Tank, and they're gonna go for him no matter what, no matter the situation. And you can't waste your time focusing on those people. They're gonna do what they do. And you can't be mad at them because they whether you like it or not, they are part of the sport of boxing. And they do help the sport of boxing. It's just like people who fans of their favorite NFL teams. And yes, they might be toxic, but hey, that's how they show they love.
Yeah, I just think it's bad for the sport. I think it's bad for the sport when Canelo get too much love. Also too, I want to send a shout out to my favorite fighter, Gary Antoine Russell, who said he's looking to unify with Alberto Pulo next. So that's gonna be a big fight.
My bad, BVO. But to that point, no, I don't think it's a good thing for the sport though that this decision didn't get overturned, especially when it was so blatant and out there in the open. I don't think that's a good thing for boxing.
I'm gonna tell you why it was, Marky Dan, because they wasn't going to overturn it to a win. And like I told BBO before you got up here, there's actually no rules. There's no rules. So it's up to the state to say what they want to do. If it was a blown call, it was a blown call. They're not going to overturn it to a win because now you open up the floodgates for everybody to appeal their decision because a referee missed a call. So now you're going to have more people appealing the judgment of the judges and the call of the referee. So you don't want to open up. You don't want to open up the floodgates. You want to keep it as sane as even as possible. Like if they was to overturn it, they wasn't going to overturn it to a win. Nope, I don't recall any fights ever being overturned to a win. Now it will be overturned to a no contest, but that's wiping the blemish off of Tank's resume. By them leaving it as a draw, now you have a blemish on your resume. So you can't say that you're undefeated because you have no losses, but you have a draw. When you put a no contest up there, now it's like the fight never happened. So now, yeah, he's undefeated. He has a no contest. That means that fight doesn't count. So it's better for them to leave it the way they left it, because if they were to overturn it, you're actually helping Tank instead of hurting them. You're actually helping them by overturning it to a no contest.
Well, it's not about helping or hurting Tank. It's about the procedure. And you said that there's no rules. I looked at the New York State Athletic Commission's rule on knockdowns. It's very clear. If any part of your body that's not the soles of your feet touches the canvas, that's a knockdown. So
yes.
Well, before you go free, I need to read how they came to that decision, because if the complaint logged by Lamont Roach and his people is that number one, the score came down to 114, and there was clearly a knockdown that was not scored. If that's what they were deciding on, and if that's what they were litigating, I need to know how they came to their decision that it remains the same.
No, listen,
because it's clearly a knockdown, and I hear what you're saying, but because they don't do this in they never do this. No administrator ever overturns a result on the field. That never happens. But still, I would like to read how they came to their decision.
No, but listen, you said the rules of a knockdown is anything hitting the canvas other than the soles of your feet. So that's not 100% true, because if you get caught with a punch and you slip, the referee can wave it off as a slip. You still got hit with a punch.
You're correct. That would be to the discretion of the referee. You're correct.
It's all to the discretion of the referee. Like I said, it wasn't a punch that Tank took. It wasn't a punch that he took. He just went down on his own.
No, he took a jab.
Now I believe that it was a knockdown. But what I'm saying is they're not going to overturn it to a win. The only thing they would do will overturn it to a no contest. They have never overturned any fight to a win that I can recall. Maybe I'm missing a fight, but I don't recall any fight.
The only fight they've ever overturned to a win was it was that Luis Resto fight. That was the fight that got Panama Lewis put out the sport when he put plaster in the dude's gloves. That's the only fight they've ever overturned. That was
basically they cheated. So I'm talking about a legitimate fight, a knockdown that was missed, and they went back and they said, you know what, that was a knockdown. They never overturned it to a win. Even the Devin Haney. The dude was caught with PEDs in the system. They didn't overturn that to a win for Devin Haney. They said it was a no contest.
Not realizing
so he literally got caught with PEDs in the system. They didn't overturn it to he said a jab was thrown and Tank took a knee. No, if you go back and look at it, The jab didn't land. The first punch that he threw was a hook. Tank rolled that punch. Tank rolled the punch. That's when he started squinching at his eyes. I mean, they slowed it down and they showed it. I forgot what video it was. They slowed it down and they zoomed in, and you could see the braid did hit him in the eye, and he started blinking at the eye. And then he was looking at the referee when he took the knee. He looked at the referee to basically, I guess, to call the timeout, saying something was in his eye. So the punch never actually landed. The punch never actually landed. He threw a punch at his face, but it didn't land. That's why they said it wasn't a knockdown.
So according to boxingscene.com, this is an article by them. The New York State Athletic Commission, they contacted Roach's attorney on Friday, and they acknowledged, yes, he should have been credited with a knockdown, and yes, Steve Willis made a mistake, but they were still not changing the outcome. So
right.
It's exactly what you said, Free. They did not. They wanted to set a They didn't want to set a precedence that other fighters could come back later and be like, "Look at what happened." So
I think he should have been ruled. He should have been ruled a knockdown because the referee started the count. The referee started the count. So when the referee started the count, it should have been ruled a knockdown at that point. But the referee waved it off. So when the referee waved it off, the judges had to go according to what the referee says, because the referee is the judge in the ring. So he said, no, it's not a knockdown. So they said, okay, it's not a knockdown. But they're not going to overturn that, because like I said, it's going to open up the floodgates. If you overturn that, you're opening up the floodgates for everybody that believe they had a missed call to appeal their decision in that fight if they lose that fight, or if they felt like they won that fight and it was a draw. So you're not going to do that, because there's going to be too many people appealing their fights. And now they got to sit here and battle all of these. They got to go and do extra work for every single fight because everybody is appealing their fight. So I didn't think that they were going to overturn.
And that would open them up to civil litigation, because
they wasn't going to overturn it to a win. The most they was going to do was overturn it to a no contest. And like I said, that's helping Tank out. That's not helping Lamont. That's helping Tank. Now he doesn't have that fight on his record. That fight is a no contest. He has an unblemished record still. The same way Devin Haney has an unblemished record, because that fight was ruled a no contest. So you leaving the draw on there, you put a blemish on his record. He has a blemish on his record. He can't say he's undefeated anymore, because he's not. He has a draw. You got no losses, but you got a draw. You fought a fighter to a tie. So you can't say you're undefeated.
Yeah. So, let's just have the rematch. I'm still disappointed Lamont didn't win, but I can't cry over spilled milk. The commission, they came to the decision, and I still think Steve Willis is, I can't curse on here, but he's just a bad referee. And I don't think he needs to be, or I'm not going to say he don't need to ever referee another big fight. I'm not going to say that, because, he's a black man. He deserves another opportunity. He had a bad night, but he need to take a break from refereeing big fights for just a little while. I don't need to see him for a little bit.
I don't know. Has we seen Tony Weeks in another big fight after that whole thing with what's his name? Rowley and the old man?
He got another opportunity to referee when Virgil came back against that Ghanaian fighter, and he blew that fight. I haven't seen him since.
No, I haven't. I don't even know if I watched that fight. I might have seen it against which fight? Which fight are you talking about?
What you talking? I'm talking about Tony Weeks refed against it was Virgil's comeback fight. It was against a Ghanaian dude. It was
no, I didn't see Virgil comeback fight. I didn't see his comeback fight. So I didn't see, but so we haven't seen Tony Weeks. So maybe they put Steve Wilkes on the daggone on the shelf, or maybe he referees some of these lower level fights. He won't referee a top level fight again.
So Bella in the chat says they actually made it worse for the future. They need to change the sole arbiter verbiage. What you mean, Bella? Are you saying there's a document? There's an official release from the commission? Because I didn't see that. I just saw the article.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they made it worse because I think if they would have overturned it, I think it would have been worse now because now you're going to open up the floodgates because anybody that believed that they had a knockdown scored and the referee said and it wasn't a knockdown, now they can go and appeal it. Now you're going to have everybody going to appeal a fight that they hit somebody and the referee ruled it a slip because he might have did slip. The floor might have been slicked and he slipped. Even though you did land a punch, the referee ruled it a slip. So now they're gonna appeal that. So I don't think that they made it worse. I think they just like I said, it's actually no official rules for a boxing match. It's no official rules. It's basically off the discretion of the referee. The referee has the final say in everything. That's why it's not a limit of low blows before a referee say you're disqualified or he takes a point. It's not a limited amount of holds before he decides to take a point or disqualify.
But let me ask you a question, Free. Okay, fine. I accept the fact that we, especially in our culture, we do not change sports matches. I agree with that. But do you think that there should be a process to scrutinize the referees the same way how the athletes get scrutinized, particularly having them sit in front of the media and get asked questions after they make bullshit ass calls like these?
It should be, but the athletic commission is not going to allow that because now you're questioning their authority because the referee is a member of the athletic commission. So he's representing the athletic commission in the ring. So now when you're questioning him, you're questioning the athletic commission. So they're not going to allow that because they don't want you to question their authority. So they will reprimand him, and you might not see that referee for a while or whatever because he's being reprimanded, but we're not going to see that. So that's the reason why they're not doing it. I believe that they should because I have seen it, and I think that's the reason why they stopped it because they have interviewed referees in the past. I think it was like in the mid 90s, early 80s. They have interviewed referees after a big fight, and it was a questionable decision. They asked the referee, "Hey, why did you not score this a knockdown, or why did you call this in the fight?" And the referee gave his explanation, and they took that away because they used to do it. They took it away. So I think it's because they don't want it to be a bad look on the athletic commission because some of these referees ain't never been in front of a camera, so they don't know how to answer the question. They're gonna answer what they believe they should answer with.
You can hear me, Free?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I passed through a pretty bad spot, but I heard basically what you said. I don't know. I just think well, if the media can't scrutinize him, do you think Lamont Roach should be able to pursue penalties for Steve Willis because of his decision? Should he be able to get a pound of flesh from him?
No, because what are you gonna get out of it? It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee if he ruled it a knockdown that you would have got the win. That's what they're gonna say, and that's what I've been saying. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say it's not a guarantee that you was gonna get the win if I ruled that a knockdown. So he doesn't have now. If it was something where you knocked the guy down multiple times and he never called it a knockdown, and that caused you to fight, then yeah, maybe he probably could say, "Hey, man, this man blatantly cheated against me because I knocked this guy down 5 times, and every time he called it a no knockdown." Maybe that you probably had something to stand on, but with one knockdown or one call of not being a knockdown, I don't think he really has anything because what are you going to get out of it? What they're going to say? We don't owe you. You're not going to get more money because you got the money that you was going to get. You got paid for the fight.
So what Bella is saying, so my bad for what Bella was saying earlier was she doesn't think the referee should be the sole arbiter in the ring, but I'm not sure the referee is the sole arbiter because if a trainer or a corner makes a protest to the commissioner who's standing there, I think the commissioner can overrule the referee.
No, No, Bella. Their instant replay. What they said was the instant replay was down. They was having technical difficulty, so that's why
quote
they
unquote.
couldn't do the instant replay during the fight. According to them, they was having technical difficulties during the fight. They couldn't do the instant replay for the judges to call it a actual knockdown. So that's another thing that the reason why they didn't overturn it, because it's too many mistakes on their end. So they're not going to punish the fighters because they made mistakes. They had the referee missed a call. Okay, blatantly. I mean, we saw that he missed a call. It should have been ruled a knockdown because he started counting. But then when they go back in between rounds to replay the fight, they couldn't replay it because they had technical difficulty. Well, they can't say, okay, yeah, that was a knockdown, or no, that wasn't a knockdown. They got to go off of what was last said. Last said it was not a knockdown. So they got to go by that. So now you can't go back later after the fight is over with and say, you know what, the replay was down. We saw the fight after the fight is over. Yeah, that was a knockdown. They're not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rule that they have is literally if they can't review that incident once the interval time between rounds, once that time elapses and the next round starts, they can't review the next round's incident. So that's the rule. So it is what it is at that point. Like I feel bad for Lamont.
Yeah, I mean,
But then again, I don't. I mean, I'm not. I feel bad for him, but I'm not heartbroken because he got some big fights coming his way. Like I said, he could go back to 130, and Raymond Ford, who's with Eddie Hearn and Turkey Al-Sheikh, they're gonna want him absolutely because he at 126 he had the WBA. Lamont got the WBA at 130.
130.
Yeah, that's what. No, I'm saying Ford had the WBA at 126. And Lamont got the WBA at 130.
He lost at 126 to Nick Ball. He didn't have it. He lost.
Yeah. But No, you're totally right, Free. But I'm saying he held it at one time. So maybe he want the WBA back. That's a big fight. Or he could stay there at 130. Shakur said his hands are apparently now healed, and apparently he's now ready for a challenge or whatever. So go ahead, fight him if he's still interested.
I think the rightful thing for to happen, even though they said we're not going to overturn the fight. They said we're not going to overturn the fight. And I think when the WBA saw that the Athletic wasn't going to overturn the fight, they should have said, okay, yeah, we saw that it was a missed call. They're not going to overturn the fight, but we're going to order an immediate rematch. That's what the WBA should have did. They should have said, we're not going to wait for y'all to figure out if y'all going to do a rematch or not. We're going to order a immediate rematch. If you don't take the immediate rematch, then you lose your belt. I think that's what should have happened.
And they've done that before in the belt. There's a precedence to that because I don't know if you remember that Mike. I don't know if his name is Michael Fox or Michael Hunter, but I remember he had that situation up in Minnesota where with the racist judges, and he beat that dude half to death. And then they found out the lady judge had all kind of Twitter posts about monkeys and this and that. And the WBA, bro, that was a huge fallout. And they offered him a rematch. They offered to order the rematch. So that's something they have in their power and that they're willing to do if they wanted to do it.
Yeah. But Bella, I mean, yeah, actually it's at the discretion of the referee. There's nothing in the rule to say you can't take a knee or a timeout. There's nothing in the rules because the only rules that the State Athletic Commission goes by, they go by the ABC. And the ABC doesn't actually have a rule. They have a guideline. So that means you can follow their guideline if you want to, but it's up to you to make your rules. So they don't have any actual rules. They only go by the guidelines of the ABC. They don't have any actual rules. So, I mean, you can look at even when it comes to the judging, because somebody broke it down. Marco broke it down today. We went through it today, and he broke it down. There's no actual rules saying what's ironclad. This is what's considered a 8 count, or this is what we consider an actual knockdown. The only thing they said is if you get hit and anything that touched the canvas outside of the soles of your feet is considered a knockdown, but it's still at the discretion of the referee. Because like I said, if you get hit and the referee said, oh no, he slipped, the referee could wave it off and say, no, that's not a knockdown, that's a slip. You got hit, but the referee said it's a slip. No, there's no rules if you take a knee. No, there's no rules if you take a knee. It's actually, there's no, if you go look it up, there's no actual rule that said if you take a knee, that's considered a knockdown. There's no rule that says that. It's at the discretion of the referee.
There's no, hold on. There's no rule that specifically says if you take a knee, it's a knockdown. But there are rules out there that says if any other part of your body other than the soles of your feet touch the canvas, that includes your knee, that's a knockdown.
If you take a
interpretation.
If you miss the first part of that, you take a punch and any part of your body touch the canvas outside of the sole of your feet, is considered a knockdown.
I saw Tank take a jab.
No, you can go look it up. Like I said, they follow the guidelines of the ABC, but it's up to each state to make their rules. It's up to each state. There's no actual rule of a knee, taking a knee. Go ahead, go get the rules. Now, don't look at the unified rules, because
I'm looking at the New York State Athletic Commission's rules. I'm looking for them.
And you're not going to see anything if you take a knee or a timeout. You're not going to see anything. Like I said, we just went through this earlier today. They literally put all of the rules up for the state athletic, for the ABC, for the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, the IBF. They just put it up. There's no actual, even when it comes to the judging, they didn't say that what you have to consider as a actual. They said clean punches, effective punching. They said body shot should be considered, but most people don't consider body punching. That's literally in the rules, in the ABC rules. It's literally in their rules. Tell me let me know when you get to a knee. No, the disqualification.
I'm not
talking. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Bentley.
Go ahead. My bad.
The disqualification is solely the discretion of the referee. The referee has the right to disqualify somebody. If he says it's not a disqualification, it's not a disqualification. That's up to the referee to disqualify somebody. That's why there is no limit of how many low blows a person take before you deduct a point from the other fighter. There's no rules on it, because it literally should be saying, okay, if I warned you 1 or 2 times on a low blow and you hit him low again, you should get a point taken. They don't have that. It's all at the discretion of the referee. Whenever the referee gets tired of warning you for a low blow, or whenever the referee gets tired of you holding, that's why some fights we see a person get warned 1 time for holding, then he take a point the following time that you hold. Then we see some referee let you hold the entire fight. It's no rules. It's at the discretion of the referee. It's none at all.
You're right. You know what, Free? You know what, Free? You got me right. You got me.
I'm just telling you, it's none.
I'm trying to find
it. We just went through it today. There's no rules on it. It's at the discretion of the referee what he want to call. What's going on, dang father? What's going on, Billy? What's going on, Bella? My bad. Let me say what's up to the people in the chat. I ain't even acknowledge. I'm just talking. I ain't acknowledge everybody that came in the chat.
Salute.
But yeah, I mean, it's bad. But I mean, like I said, if they would have tried to overturn it, like I said, the most they would have made it a no contest. They wasn't going to overturn it to a victory for Roach. They wasn't going to overturn it to a victory because, like I said, now you got all these people that's going to go back and say, "Well, I didn't get considered like the Michael Fox. The Michael Fox was clearly a robbery. It was clearly a robbery, but it's no rules on what the judges have to look for and score. They go by what their opinion is because they got 5 criteria: clean punching, effective punching, ring generalship, defense, and what was the other one? Ring generalship, defense, and it was another one that I'm missing. Clean punching, effective punching, ring generalship, defense, and it was another one. It's 5 criteria. I thought it was only 4, but it's actually 5 criteria that they go by. I forgot what the 5th one was. Oh, I gotta go back and look at it. I forgot what the 5th one was, but it's actually a 5th one. And I'm like, damn, where did the 5th one come from? I always knew a 4. I didn't know it was 5.
Well, you got me stumped. Other than the WBC and the WBA, the New York State Athletic Commission does not have an official set of rules out there that you can find.
Yeah,
there's no official rule book. There's no PDF. There's no 2013 or 2014 edition. There's nothing.
There's nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The only rules I can find is from the WBC, the WBA, the ABC, the ABC regulatory commissions, like you said. I can't find anything for New York.
There's no rule. If a person
I have to bow down on that.
If the person takes the knee, it's at the discretion of the referee. There's no rule to say, oh, that's a knockdown. There's no rule that says that. Literally none. Like I said, we just went through that today. I was surprised because I thought the same thing.
In that case, then what they said about the replay review, I mean, they could have just pulled it out their ass because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know if they had technical difficulties or not. That's just what they said. We don't know that if that's true.
Like there's no. I can't find any established rules, so they could just make that shit up as they go along for real.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They followed the guidelines of the ABC, but the ABC already said each state has to make their own rules. They can follow our guideline, but a guideline is something that you can follow if you choose to, but you don't have to follow it. That's why it's called a guideline.
Bedley. Like I can't find a set of rules for New York.
None.
Apparently Bella has something, but hey, if you can't put the link down, Bella, then we don't got the evidence.
That's because she's not a moderator. She's not a moderator. That's why she can't put the link down. But yeah,
okay, do you got well, let me know if you got IG. I'll put my IG in the chat. You could
what article and line are you looking at? Because Marky Dan is looking at the New York State athletic rules right now.
And not just an article. I want an actual rule book that I could look at and go through. Yeah, not just an article of somebody quoting a commissioner.
Yeah, no, because the New York State Athletic doesn't have an actual rule for taking a knee. Not a voluntary knee. Now, maybe if you take a punch and you take a knee, yeah, they can say, yeah, that's a knockdown. But a voluntary knee, there's no rule for that, for a voluntary knee.
That's crazy. Why would that be like that? I can find regulations for like the behavior of a commission, how a fighter should dress, the type of gauze you can use, the type of equipment a cup man can have. She said when it talks about the fighting rules in the ring.
She said section 211.50 section 211.51.
All right, can you give me the name of can you give me the exact name of the rule book that you're quoting from? Or maybe the website.
Is that the New York State Athletic Commission rule book, or is that the WBA or somebody else's rule book?
We getting to the bottom of this today. Oh, okay. Let me see here in New York. Okay, so I have put this section 211.5 and section
You said, yeah, it's New
211.51
York. It's New York.
boxing into, yeah, I put it into the Google search bar and AI overview comes back in New York. The special rules for professional boxing covers what happens when a boxer is down. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. Wow. The Thomas Reuters.
Who?
Oh, Thomas. Yeah, Thomas Reuters. That's like a database for like information and encyclopedias.
I'm gonna pull it up. I wish BBO was up here so we can put the actual rule up here.
What year is this from, though? Let me see.
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, so this is definitely the New York codes, statutes, codes, and regulations. I don't know what year this is from exactly, but this covers everything in boxing. Bella dropping the facts on us.
But like I said, I have no problem with them leaving a draw because, like I said, it leaves a blemish on Tank Davis' resume. They're not going to overturn it to a win. That's what they're not going to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, at the end of the day, you just gotta move on. We can't cry over spilled milk. It was a good fight. Lamont, he's in a good position. But so, moving on, let's talk about another fighter. One of your favorite fighters. You interviewed him last year, the Christmas before last year's the Christmas before last year. Yeah. Bruce Carrington. You interviewed him.
Uh-huh.
He's been talking spicy. He said the only thing I liked about Cool Boy's performance is his outfit. And right now he's in a fight that would put him in position to be the WBC's mandatory. How do you see that fight?
For Bruce Harrington versus who? Cool Boy?
Cool Boy. Did you hear what he said about Cool Boy?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't hear what he say.
He said the only thing I liked about his performance was his outfit. And he said that's not a Philly outfit. That's New York. That's a New York fit.
Hey, I mean, I have no problem with what he thinks of the performance, but the only way that says that you better than him is by getting in there and beating him. If you can't get in there and beat him, anything you say is irrelevant. That's just your opinion. I mean,
How you see that fight going?
I have no problem with what Cool Boy thinks of the fight, but I would love to see that fight. I don't know if they're going to make that next, but I would love to see it. I mean, it gives Bruce Ennis a shot at a title, and it gives Cool Boy a chance to prove that he's still good.
Wow, so Bentley said Shushu beats Cool Boy. So that's one person in Karen and Bruce's corner. I see Cool Boy. I think he's gonna school Bruce, and I think it'll be good for Bruce's career. Bruce just had that fight against the African dude Sagawa. I thought he lost. I thought it could have been a draw at worse. So I think this fight, he's really gonna get schooled. I would have hoped to seen him against Raymond Ford. I think that would have been a good fight.
You thought what
Cool
fight
Boy,
was a draw?
did you see Shushu's last fight against the African dude Sagawa?
Yeah, I thought he made it harder than what it has to be. Like, I don't know what it is about daggone Shushu, but he always seemed to make the fight harder than what it has to be. He can beat those guys easily by just fighting his style of fighting.
You think he like
and
boots?
a lot of times that causes for fighters to get beat because you get so much in the habit of fighting their style of fighting instead of fighting your style of fighting. Now you put yourself in a habit of fighting somebody else's fight.
I think that's part of it, but I think the other part of it is Shushu. Firstly, I think he blew his load early in the fight, trying to get Sagawa out of there because he was trying to. He just had the Mike Tyson speech the fight before. He put that dude to bed viciously. I think he was so he had a certain expectation how he wanted to look in this fight, but that's not the type of fighter Sagawa is. Sagawa is a really good fighter. Like a lot of people don't know about him at 126 yet, but he could be a champion one day. And I mean that. And he will. And anytime Shushu tried to box with him, Sagawa would get on the front foot and start pressuring Shushu. And then something that shocked me, Sagawa for certain parts was outboxing Shushu. And then what I saw that I didn't like from Shushu late in the fight, and I'm wondering if he's gonna learn from that, is after he blew his load, you know how Shushu like to be making those faces like he's growling and he like he's an animal and all this stuff. He was doing that early in the fight. In the second half, that was done and over with. And it looked pretty weak as hell. Like you could tell, and at that point you could tell he was faded. And that he didn't really want to fight back. So I'm wondering if he's gonna come into his next fight, not necessarily toned down in terms of aggressiveness, but maybe just
Yeah,
learn how to play poker a little bit better.
yeah. I mean I wanna see how Cool Boy and Shushu pair against each other because they sparred against each other. They sparred multiple times against each other. But I want to see how Cool Boy because I don't think Cool Boy can do what he did to Brandon Figueroa. I don't think he could do that to Shushu because Shushu can box. Brandon Figueroa is more of a come forward fighter. He likes to fight on the inside. He don't like to fight at mid range or long distance. He likes to fight on the inside. But with a guy like Shushu, who can box from the outside, mid range, and fight a little bit on the inside, I want to see how Cool Boy pairs against him, especially being the size that Shushu is. I think Shushu like 5'9", 5'10", and Cool Boy's only like 5'6", 5'5", something like that. Maybe even smaller than that.
No, Shushu's like five. No, Shushu's like 5'7", 5'8". He's pretty tall for a
No,
featherweight.
Shushu ain't. I know, yeah, Shushu, yeah. I'm talking about
And
Cool
Cool
Boy.
Boy's 5'5".
Yes, I don't. I mean, Cool Boy. I think he's gonna have the length and the arm reach over Cool Boy. So Cool Boy is gonna have to find his way on the inside to be able to land shots at a effective rate. So I want to see how it pans out. I think I think Shushu might be a little bit too much for Cool Boy.
But it's nothing.
But I mean, I'll be
But it's
first one to
nothing else for
admit
you.
I had Brandon Figueroa beating Cool Boy in the rematch. I said I thought he was going to beat him, and Cool Boy went out there and showed the old Cool Boy when he got in that fight.
Yeah, my whole thing with Cool Boy, and I had him on my pound for pound list before that monster loss. I thought he was on a great streak, and I even said I thought he was a special fighter. And I thought that fight between him and Monster was going to be one of the best fights of this era. So after he got dominated the way he did, I didn't really know how to evaluate him. And then he gets dropped against Ronnie Rios, somebody who, again, the way how I was evaluating Cool Boy, that Ronnie Rios is not somebody that's supposed to drop him. And then it'd be a drag out war. So I didn't know really what to expect from Cool Boy in the Brandon Figueroa rematch. But then the way how he was beating up on Brandon Figueroa, just really putting hands and feet on him, Cool Boy is back. I think I think he's acclimated to 126. I think he's fresh. He's coming off a great performance. He didn't really take too much punishment. And yeah, if he's got to fight Shushu whether it be in fall or in December. I think he'll be ready because
Yeah.
he's always in great shape.
Yeah, I think me personally, that Monster Inoue fight, not the fight itself. I don't think the fight was a bad fight. I think the fact that Cool Boy went over to Japan and fight him, I think that was bad for Cool Boy. Cool Boy should have made Monster come to the States and fight him. He was the champion. He should say, okay, you moving up, you want
Nice.
to fight me, come over to the States and fight me. So
I hear what you're saying with that free, but it was too much money. And
I mean
Al Heyman even let him go because he had to acknowledge I don't have a fighter in my stable that can offer you a $3 million purse
but see,
guaranteed.
and this that goes back to all money ain't good money. Yeah, it was a lot
True,
of money,
true.
but you went over there and gave up your status of being a champion, and you fought on his terms. So now you're fighting on his terms. It's easier for him to adjust because you're fighting on his terms. Where Monster would have came over here, he would have had to fight Kuboy on his terms.
That's true. That's true. And I wouldn't mind seeing Monster come to Philadelphia. That because
I mean,
Monster is
and
them
it might.
Japanese
I mean,
fighters. They really like prim and proper, and
yeah,
they
it
don't
might
like
it
do the
might would have
pro
panned
trash
out.
talk. So I wonder how it would have looked for him to go up against that Philly sports fan base because they
I
would
mean,
have
and
been
it
nasty.
very well could have panned out the same way it panned out in Japan. It's just when you got to go all the way over there, you got to adjust to the time frame and all that, and then you gotta fight on his terms, and your team was complaining about the raps and all this other stuff. It was just too much distraction to get ready for a major fight. That was his biggest fight of his career. Fighting against Monster anyway was the biggest fight of Cool
Yeah,
Boy's career. So
and it was
that's that's
50. It was
that's too much
50,000 people in
distraction.
there free. It
Right?
was
Yeah, it's too.
50,000 people in there. He's never fought in a hall bigger than 5,000 people.
Yeah, you don't want all of that distraction going into the biggest fight of your career. You want to be calm. You want everything to go as usual, and you want to be prepared for your fight. You want to be focused on your fight. You don't want to be worrying about no hand wraps and should I eat this and all this other stuff. You don't want to worry about that. You want to worry about only on the fight. I got to fight this guy. Let me make sure I'm 100% ready for this guy. So it's a lot of things going to when you travel into another country, and I mean, if you're a great fighter, you'll prevail. If you're an okay fighter, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Right now, Cool Boy lost, so we got to see what happens in the future. He's back on a winning streak. He won 2 in a row since the Monster lost, and he's back being a champion again. We see if he can build on it. I just know if
Absolutely.
Monster moves up to 126 and he said he want to fight you, you better tell him to come to Philly or come to the States, wherever y'all fight at, whether it's in Vegas or whatever. Tell him come to the States. Don't take your ass back over to Japan.
Yeah, get every edge you can, and especially with that fighter, because that dude beats people to death. So absolutely, if you could get him to your hometown, try to do that. But um, did you know George Kambosos was fighting this month? I didn't know that.
I heard something about him moving to 140. I didn't know he had a fight. I knew he was moving to 140.
He's
But
fighting a guy named Dawad Jordan. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Do you care about that fight?
I don't care about the fight. I don't care about daggone Cambosis.
That's why I
That,
asked you, just so I
that
could hear
man,
you
that
say
man,
that.
that man got stopped to the body by daggone Loma. You was in there. I mean, not taking anything away from Loma. You was in there going blow for blow with Devin Haney the last time I remember seeing you in the ring. You was going blow for blow with Devin Haney. You go in there and you take about 6 shots to the stomach, and you was like, I'm good. I had enough. I had enough.
Bruh, and Loma just beat him to death slowly. It looked like he was boiling a frog. It was
Yeah.
terrible. Nah,
Uh,
Bella. Shushu. I think his last fight was a 10 rounder.
yeah. His last fight was a 10 round.
But
He was fighting 8-rounder fights. But yeah, I think his last fight was a 10 rounder.
I don't know. I think Shushu should fight. I think they should put him in there before he fights a cool boy. They should probably put him in there with a Joet Gonzalez, Isaac Dogbay, Ruben Villa, somebody slick but
I
can't
just seen
punch.
something on Joet Gonzalez too today. What did I see on? They put something up about Joet Gonzalez today.
He probably fighting another big fighter.
What did I see? I saw something. It was earlier today. Something about Joet Gonzalez. And it's funny that you mentioned him because I just seen his name earlier today. Here we go.
But that's a fighter Shushu should have on his resume as he's coming up. Because Joet Gonzalez has fought everybody.
Yeah, go right here. Joet Gonzalez. He said Joet Gonzalez is not giving up on his world champion ambition despite 3 previous attempts, and he fell short against the likes of Shakur, Emmanuel Navarrete, and I forgot who the other champion he fought.
Angelo Leo put him to bed. El Venado. Okay. Alberto Leo.
Luis Alberto.
I think his name was Alberto Leo.
Well, Lopez. Luis Alberto Lopez.
Alberto Lopez. We both got it right. We were half right.
He lost those 3 types. So he's still looking to become a champion again. So he's still fighting.
Salute, Killer Mike.
Yeah, he's 31 years old. He got to fight this Saturday.
He got put up.
He got to fight. He got to fight. Is it this Saturday or was it last Saturday?
I don't know. I hope he keeps getting fights. He's a good fighter, but golly, he got put to bed. I think that was the knockout of the year last year.
Probably. But yeah, so he's still looking. He said, I got Keith making noise at 54. I got Keith making noise in this fight. And that's about it. I don't got him doing nothing else after this fight.
All right. So now we reach Keith Thurman. How do you feel about this Keith Thurman fight? Go ahead.
You already know. We were just talking about this joint. I was surprised when I looked at this dude's resume that this dude started at 115 pounds. This dude went from 115 to 118 to 122, 126, 130, 135, 140, from 147 to 160. Now he's coming back down to 54. This man has not been at the same weight longer than a year and a half. He hasn't been at the same weight longer than a year and a half. He's been moving up in weight every year, every other year. He's been moving up in weight. Now the dude has an impressive record. He's 22-1 with 20 knockouts, but the one loss was a knockout loss to Liam Powell. As I said, I already told you about this earlier, Marky. This man got knocked out in the first round. Not the middle round, not the late round. The first round, he got knocked out cold. Not a TKO. He got knocked out cold in the first round to Liam Powell. I don't care how active he is. Keith Thurman should stop this dude. Keith Thurman should stop this dude.
Now what I will say, Free. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, Free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you back. I can see you now. Now what I will say, Free. To be fair to the young guy, when he started doing all those fights, particularly at 115 and 118, he started his career when he was 17 years old. He was still a teenager. He was not a grown man yet. So really around, let's say 2019, 2020, that's when he started really maturing, coming into his body. He was at 126. Then he started eating more. Gets up to Maybe he started eating more, so he got up to 135, and then I don't know. I don't know how he made this jump. Is this at 154?
No, this man was at 160. His last fight was at 160. Now he's coming back down to 154. He's never fought at
He's
54.
at 160. So he fought at
His,
160?
his last fight was at 160. He's never fought at 54. He skipped over 54. He went from 47 to 160. Now he's coming down to 54.
Okay, I was joking, but now I'll be serious. Either this is a case of the worst weight bullying we have ever seen in the history of the sport of boxing, that or he had an extreme growth spurt, and I'm not counting either out. It could be either or. For you to be fighting at 122 and then you fighting at 160, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
This man has been moving up in weight ever since he got in the sport. This man has been moving up ever since he got in the sport. They're like, look, we're gonna drain you to the lowest you can get, and we're gonna move you up every year after that.
The closest shit excuse me, golly, I was doing so good, but the closest I've ever seen to somebody doing that was Chris Bird. Chris Bird in the Olympics was 160, and he said he was broke and he didn't have no money for a trainer, so he had to just eat. Now, whatever he could, he was just eating.
I will say Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao spent time in weight classes. The only weight class he didn't spend no time in was 140. He came down there, fought one time Ricky Hatton, and then he moved up. He didn't spend no time at 140. But the other weight classes, he spent time in those weight classes. It wasn't like he had one or two fights and then he moved up. No, he fought about 5 or 6 times and then he moved up. I think it might have been 1 or 2 weight classes. He only fought two opponents and then he moved up. But for the vast majority, he spent time in those weight classes. But this dude, he fight like, I think 2017, he had 4 fights in that year, and I think 2 was in one weight class and the other 2 was in another weight class. And that was all in the same year.
I don't know what to say about that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, 135.
I hope either he puts. Yeah, I hope he either. What said on? Oh yeah, Pacquiao. I was just thinking of Pacquiao. I was about to say no, yeah, Pacquiao. I don't know. He's another anomaly. Because he was a real little dude. He would be weighing in at 143 and 145. I'm not sure he ever weighed in at 146 for his career.
Killer Mike said, "Is Tank in a cult or something D-free?" Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I think so.
I don't know. I know he got some diehard fans that's going to follow him no matter what he do. And every fighter has those diehard fans, but Tank has a lot of them. Tank and Canelo has a lot of diehard fans that's going to follow them whatever they do, no matter what they do. They remind
me of Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Whatever they say, whatever they do, they're gonna agree with. Yeah. Whatever it is. Whatever they say.
I'm one of the ones, like I said, I support majority of these fighters. I ain't gonna say all of them. I support majority of these fighters. I'm not a fan of none of them. I support majority of these fighters, but I gotta call it how I see it. Like I said, that fight with Tank Davis, it definitely should have been ruled a knockdown because the referee had already started counting. Once the referee started counting, you got to rule it a knockdown. Now, what I like the fact that they left it as a draw because now Tank has a blemish on his record. I don't want them to overturn it and wipe away the blemish because you're doing Tank a favor by wiping away the blemish. That's why I didn't understand why Lamont Roach petition the ruling, because they're not gonna rule it in your as a win. They're only gonna rule it as a no contest. That's why I didn't understand why he did it, because like I said, outside of that one where a person blatantly cheated, they have never overturned a fight to a win. It's always been either it's going to stay what it is or it's going to be a no contest.
That would be such a messy situation, because I don't think the WBA would have stripped Tank. I don't think they would have stripped him. Now I think Lamont Roach would have probably had to sue the WBA.
That's
so
why
that just gets even more
WBA
messy, and you got to waste even more money.
The WBA wasn't going to strip Tank. That's the reason why they came out before the New York State Athletic Commission said anything. They said, no, we're going to wait on their judgment. We're not stripping Tank. Whatever their judgment is, that's what their judgment is. They're going to wait on the New York State Athletic Commission. So, like the WBA, they really don't have any rules except for the rules of how to become a champion and how you hold on to your belt. But far as what goes on in the ring, the WBA don't have any say-so with that. That's only on the state or the commission for that state. They the only ones that has the rules on what goes on in the ring. They only sanction the body. So yeah, the title is on the line. We sanctioning this bout for a title fight. But what the rules are, whatever that state say the rules are. If we was in Vegas, whatever the rules was for Vegas. If we was in Texas, whatever the rules are for Texas. The WBA don't have any rules as far as the actual fight. Their rules is how to become a champion and how to hold on to your title. That's the only rules that they have.
Killer Mike asks, Marky Dan, has BVO been supporting Antonio Russell from day one? I know he says he has. I can recall
what I will say
far ways back. He said Gary Antonio Russell would beat Devin Haney to death. I do remember that. That was a couple years back, I think. So, I mean, take from that what you will. Go ahead, Freak.
The only thing that I would say, and BVO has never said anything bad about Antoine. He just said he wants to see Antoine more. That's the only thing he's ever said. He wants to see him more. He never said anything bad about Antoine. Now, I don't know if it's because he know that that's my family or if it's just because he really does like Antoine. I don't know. I'm not speaking on that. But like I said, the only thing he's ever said, he wants to see him more.
Sebastian Fundora is fighting this month against Cordell Booker. Elijah Garcia is also on that undercard. That should also be a good fight. Against Terrell Goucher. Do you know Terrell Goucher? I've heard his name before.
I know Miguel Brissett.
Miguel Brissett. What? That shit ain't close to what I said.
I don't know if I ever heard that name before. I heard of Miguel Brissett. He fought at what, 126, 130? Miguel Brissett? I think it was 130. I think he might have fought at.
Yeah, Brissett. Oscar Valdez ended his career violently.
Yeah, that's the only Brissett I know. I don't know about nobody else.
I said Terrell Goucher. I don't know how.
Oh, Deshay. I thought you said Brissett. I thought you said Brissett. Nah, I definitely never heard that name before. Deshay, never heard that name before. I mean, I think Elijah Garcia going to beat him anyway. I think Elijah Garcia is one of those.
Oh yeah, okay. So Terrell Goucher, he dropped Tim Tszyu in Tim Tszyu's first fight on PBC. That was like 2 years ago. Or excuse me, it's gonna be 3 years ago this month.
I can tell you right now, I know I didn't see that fight because I didn't start watching Tim Tszyu until maybe a year and a half ago. I just started watching Tim Tszyu, and that's because
it was a pretty decent fight, but I
he was calling out Jamel.
Yeah,
he was calling out Jamel, and he wanted to smoke with Jamel. That's when I started keeping an eye on Tim Tszyu. I wasn't watching Tim. I heard of Tim Tszyu before, but I wasn't watching him like that. So I know I didn't see that fight.
Terrell Goucher has fought some real names. He fought Erislandy Lara. That was a unanimous decision loss. He fought Austin Trout. That was a split decision draw. He fought Erickson Lubin. That was a UD loss. Tim Zhu, UD loss, but dropped him. He
How
just
old
fought
is he?
Carlos. What'd you say?
How old is he?
I think he's 37, but he's from Cleveland. He just fought Carlos Adames last year in June.
You said he's how old?
He is 37.
Oh yeah, he's losing. He's losing. 37 years old. He's losing.
It's gonna be a good fight.
It's gonna be good. I ain't
saying
saying it's gonna be a bad fight. I just don't think he's gonna win. 37 years old, you fighting against Elijah Garcia?
Yeah, Elijah Garcia, bro.
No, I don't think he's gonna win that fight. If he win, hey, more power to him. I just don't think that it's gonna happen.
Have you ever seen Cordell Booker? Can you describe him to me?
I might have seen him if I see his face. I probably have. I don't recall the name, but a lot of these fighters, I be watching fights on a late night, and I don't be paying attention to the names. I just be watching fights because I want to watch something on TV.
The man is 33 years old.
Yeah, he fighting against. Yeah, we talked about that earlier too. Nick Ball. Yeah, but I think Cordell Booker. Now that I'm saying the name does sound familiar. Cordell Booker. The name does sound familiar.
Oh, okay. So Cordell, but I remember him now. He got stopped by Ammo Williams in the first round a couple
That's
years
when I
ago.
seen him for Ammo. I saw him fight Ammo.
I remember that.
I was like, hold on. Now
round.
I'm saying the name does sound familiar. Yeah, he fought Ammo.
Yeah, he's gonna get stopped.
Yeah, that Nick Ball fight. I think Nick Ball gonna stop TJ Doheny in the 7th round. I think he's gonna stop him in the 7th round. Doheny, he's 38 years old. Nick Ball is 28 years old. After, like I said, when I saw what Nick Ball did to Raymond Ford, and I've watched Nick Ball before, I didn't have a close eye on Nick Ball because he was so small and he just was a volume puncher. It didn't really regulate with me as far as a good fighter. But he had 3 tough fights back to back. He had Isaac Dawday, then he fought Ray Vargas, and then he fought Raymond Ford. I was like, okay, yeah, this dude, he's legit. So yeah, I mean, I think Nick Ball is gonna stop him in the 7th round. I think he's gonna stop him in the 7th round.
Yeah, yeah.
Nick will get him
That's
out
pretty
early.
much how I got it. Early to late rounds, or excuse me, early to mid rounds. TJ Doheny, he's past his prime. He had some good years at 122. I think at one point he was a unified fighter before he lost his belts to Danny Roman. You know what I'm saying? Fought some pretty good dudes down.
Danny Roman was an animal too.
Yeah, Danny Roman was a really good fighter. Somebody that Cool Boy outclassed. That's a fight Cool Boy don't get credit for. But going back to TJ Doheny, he's past his prime. It'd be interesting if he could find a way how to hold on the inside, stall, keep away from Nick Ball, because I think he could outbox Nick Ball. If he could stay at long range or at mid range.
I can picture him now trying to grab Nick Ball, and he go to grab, and Nick Ball hit him with like 7 shots real quick. Nick Ball throw a lot of shots.
And Nui stopped him to the hip. So Nick Ball is going to the body in this fight, especially if he's going to try to hold him.
Hey, that Keith Thurman Sean Porter fight, it was a close fight. I think Keith Thurman pulled it out, but it was a close fight. Those middle rounds, I think Keith Thurman did a lot of work in the middle rounds. As it got later in the fight, Sean Porter, he tried to turn it up a little bit more, but he was taking too many clean shots from Keith Thurman. Like Sean Porter was doing his thing, but he was taking a lot of clean shots from Keith Thurman, and that's what flashes in the judges' mind. They see all those clean shots landing. They're like, hold up, this dude won this round. He won this round too. So it was a close fight, but I think Keith Thurman pulled it out. I would have loved to see a rematch. I don't know why they never did a rematch, but I would have loved to see a rematch.
Oh yeah, that Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, that was a classic fight.
I would have loved to see a rematch.
That was ebb and flow. Where I thought Sean Porter was gonna stop Keith Thurman like in the middle rounds, and then Keith Thurman had to really come back and dig down deep. That was a great fight.
Yeah, I thought I would have loved to see a rematch from Sean Porter and Danny Garcia after their fight. That was a good fight too. I don't know why they didn't do a rematch. Both of those fights, I thought it should have been a rematch. I thought the Keith Thurman and Sean Porter should have been a rematch, and I thought Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia should have been a rematch. Yeah, he said Sean launched him. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but that's his style. He produced some great fights with that style. It made him a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Porter outside of Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao, after Floyd had left, Sean Porter was up there with the best resume. It was Manny Pacquiao, then it was Canelo Alvarez, and then it was Sean Porter. They had the 3 best resumes in the sport of boxing.
Facts.
Yeah. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. We about to get up out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Also, tomorrow at 6:00, I will be doing the NFL because the free agency is now starting. They got the Tampa season has opened, so they got 3 days to be able to talk to certain players, and then they will be signing players come Wednesday. They're able to start signing players Wednesday. There's a couple of people that came off the board, so I will be talking about free agency football tomorrow. At 6:00. So we will be doing football because we do everything over here on the Sports Network. We talk about all sports, not just boxing. But I appreciate everybody that came through. Make sure y'all smash the like button on your way out. And he said, Cam Ward going first. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's no doubt. Cam Ward is going first. Shedeur Sanders is a great talent. I think he needs a lot around him, though. I think he needs to really have an offensive line. I think a team like the Jets could really use somebody like him. So I think the Jets take Shedeur Sanders. If the Titans don't take Cam Ward, they need to trade the first pick and just stockpile. Because what you gonna do? Like what's Abdul Carter gonna do? Defense wasn't your problem last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Titans look like they might be sold on Will Levis. But we're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Smash the like button on your way out. If you're not subscribed and you catch this on the playback, subscribe to BBO Boxing, and we'll be back tomorrow at 8:05. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching BVO. And if you're down with BVO, subscribe and join the community. Have a great night.